In this video, we're going to talk about the GNU Swallowtail Carver, a board pulled from Mike Olson's old school quiver. You look at this thing and it's a throwback, the shape. And then you add to it the C2 camber profile. You end up with a board that's got a freestyle flex, but an old school carving shape. It's such an homage to the 80s and where we came from. This is a board that you can butter and play with, but still rail hard turns and slash powder with it. This board features Mervin's C2X camber profile. So it's a tweak on the C2 camber profile. It's a shortened reverse section between the feet and a lengthened camber zone underfoot. This gives you more snap and less play between the feet. Basically, more pop. That's the way to break down C2X. Okay, it's time to talk about the flex pattern on the Swallowtail Carver. From contact point to contact point, it feels like it's just below a middle of the road park flex. It's soft. You've got a lot of play in the tips, stiffer underfoot and through the middle with an okay amount of torsional give to it. This is a board that's very easy to center twist and drive and just play around on. Now, stability-wise, you're going to notice some chatter in the tips, but it doesn't resonate back underfoot. It's actually damp underfoot and absorbs that really, really well. It's in uneven terrain that if you're not flexing the board with every contour in the snow, you're going to get that skipping effect. I never got this board to wash out or buckle when I was plowing through Chunder with it, so it's a solid board in that respect. This board actually has a lot of snap to it due to the C2X camber profile. You can really load it up and pop, or you can be a little more laid back and get that skate style snap to it. It's one of those decks that when you hit a roller or a cat track gap or a side hit, you can pop and boost with it. So how does this thing turn? Well, it's solid. If you're doing short, tight, quick turns, it's playful enough to engage it with ease and really drive the board. If you're doing a long, drawn-out carve, it locks in and keeps going. The magnet traction on this board really grips on firmer snow, but it doesn't leave you locked in and forcing you to drive through the carve. It just does what you want. Now, as this board does have a softer flex, you can really aggressively center flex it and allow yourself to drive it through a hard Euro carve turn. Okay, so it's a Swallowtail. How does it switch carve? Actually really well. That Swallowtail doesn't catch. I never had a problem with it doing that. It really would go backwards perfectly fine. Just using that tail as the front of the board. It never hooked. It never had any actual problems. So who is the Swallowtail Carver for? It's obviously a niche board. It's something that you're gonna have in your quiver. I recommend this for someone that wants a softer flexing board that they can carve and play around. Someone that wants a board that's an homage to the 80s version of snowboarding when it was just getting weird and silly, doing weird carves, playing around, buttering, stuff like that. This is a board that it's got a unique shape to it. It's definitely designed for carving, yet it's soft and playful. You can go out and really have fun with it. If you wanted to go in the park, don't hesitate. You could jib the shit out of this thing if you really wanted to. But you can still slash pow with it. It's a board that it's a little more versatile than you would think looking at it. Now, when I was first looking at this board, I thought it was going to be stiffer. It's not. It's just not stiff. It's playful. I couldn't believe it. Here's the decks that I think you should also look at. The Nitro Wood Carver, the Niche Story, the Rome Blur, the Jones Mind Expander, the Endeavor Archetype. Alright, so now you've decided what snowboard you're going to get and you're going to decide where you're going to buy it. If you're shopping local, awesome. Slap your local shop guys a high five and tell them they're killing it. But for those of you that are buying online, why don't you shop from one of the links we have down below? That way you support us and you get a deal on your snowboard. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That way you can see all the relevant or irrelevant snowboarding content that we're putting out for you guys. So smash that bell down below. That way you're getting a notification. And I'll see you guys in another video. Oh shit, that's an Easter egg.